So I was minding my business, writing the Buffy deep dive that I have promised a while ago, I'm focusing on second and third season right now, and there is one episode that I genuinely believe has been created to genuinely rage bait the audience. I know there's gonna be people who will agree and disagree with me. People seem to have a lot of strong opinions on Buffy, and I'm basing this on the comments that I got on the season 1 deep dive. Sorry to say, but not being opinionated is no fun. I realized while writing this section last night that I have to basically get this section out of the main video, out of the deep dive, and put it separately in a separate video because it is honestly ridiculous. I cannot have 10 pages of the script, which is roughly around 20 to 30 to even sometimes 35 minutes of the video, be about one episode. That's just insane. I need all the characters in the show to back off of Buffy, and I know they won't because I have seen the rest of the show, so I know they won't, but I need them to do it because this was a point where things get drastically changed in this series, where we get a lot, and I mean a lot of fucked up behavior when it comes to Buffy's like support system, treating her like shit. It'd be better a little bit, just so there's less glare from the glasses. Anyway, I'm gonna be a dick today to many characters in the show because they're so unreasonable when it comes to Buffy specifically. What pisses me off is not the fact that Buffy needs to deal with death and suffering, which is obviously sad. I mean, no shit. But not demoralizing to the viewer because it's kind of like she gets whacked by her haters, opposition, enemies? Whatever the hell you want to call it. She gets whacked by people who she's supposed to get whacked by. You know what I mean? It's vampires, it's demons, it's whatever. It makes sense. Basically, fighting evil and struggling is one thing, but having friends and family like hers, including her boyfriend's bitch, especially when it comes to the solution of issues that the characters have with each other and with Buffy, being Buffy taking lashings, usually in front of them, usually because she's protecting them, saving their asses, and then calling it love, friendship, or familial relationships. I don't think that's how it works, brother. I don't think that's how it works. I need to literally explain to you what the fuck is going on before I get into the rant because you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but the most disturbing example of this is in season 3, episode 2. We're gonna cover this dumbass episode in detail first, okay? Important setup. Last season ended with Buffy having to kill Angel. Angel lost his soul and went nuts, opening a portal to hell or whatever. At the last moment when Buffy has to kill him, he gets his soul back. But because the portal is opened already, Buffy has to kill him in order to close it. And if she doesn't close it, it's basically apocalypse type shit. And I mean it literally, like that's the setup of the story. She also had literally no time to explain what is going on, so she kind of just had to do it to him, to his face, without having even a conversation, He's basically clueless as to what the fuck is going on. She fights the worst creature imaginable that killed people close to her, right? Who gets ensouled with her boyfriend, and she has to kill him, okay? And all of that happened within 5 fucking seconds. Okay, let's say 20 or 30 seconds. It's a quick decision that is extremely disturbing, killing someone who's really confused and who you love and who's just like appeared out of nowhere, and basically it's kind of like, what the fuck, dude, like you're just gonna kill me like that? It's kind of a lot, especially for someone who is 17 years old. Yes, just in case you forgot. Right before that happened, she told her mom about being a slayer because her mom literally saw her slaying a vampire. Her mom does not take to that information very well, which is really strange because it's like she's kind of acting like it's a choice to accept or not accept it, as if she doesn't believe in vampires, they will just like disappear or some shit like that. It was a really bizarre reaction, I'm not gonna lie. She tries to prevent Buffy from going into this final battle. The problem is, it would be one thing if she tried to stop Buffy from going because she's worried for her. That's totally fine. But she didn't do it in a way of, oh my god, Buffy, I'm so worried for you, don't go. But in a way, a boss at a local McDonald's is mad at an employee for leaving after their shift and not staying for a second shift because they're short-staffed because of their managerial mistake. Do you know what I mean? Like the attitude. It's just abysmal attitude, but that would still be okay if she didn't tell her to never come back home, okay?
You walk out of this house, don't even think about coming back.
I understand that there's some degree of a cultural difference here. I understand that because I was genuinely horrified when I moved to Canada, and I had so many classmates that were quite literally kicked out of their home by their parents for one reason or another, or they were forced to pay rent at the age of like 16 or 17 or some shit like that. That's some weird shit that I will never understand. Honestly, we'll never see eye to eye about that. Like, sorry to say, that's not gonna be something I'm gonna assimilate to ever. But even with all of these examples of this being weirdly normalized in North America, I don't give a shit, man. You can't say that to a child. Even if you're super mad at them, even if you think this is your last resort, you can't say that. I watched this episode with my mom, and we had to stop the episode just to talk shit for like half an hour, okay? Because what do you mean? That as a parent, you told your kid that having a roof over your head is like conditional? That's insane. After Buffy saves the world and has to kill her boyfriend to do that because it's her duty, and he is responsible in one way or another, regardless, she leaves Sunnydale and doesn't tell anyone where she went. She basically gives up slaying.
Will you be slaying?
Only if they give me lip.
Stay somewhere in an apartment in like, I think it was LA, in a dodgy neighborhood. When she comes back, she is met with a diabolical swamp, okay, of psychopathy from her loved ones. By the way, I released a new design that I actually worked on. I think I worked on it 2 years ago. It took a really long time to get the money to buy out a minimum quantity, order quantity and stuff like that, because it is, you know, it's custom. It's not like, I don't buy it out of some kind of stock or something like that. I have to actually make the mold and other shit like that. And this is a dance card. Like in Regency time, you can actually unscrew it and put something inside. It can be a picture. Personally, what I was thinking about, like what could be put in there, your phone number. So when you're at a party, meet someone, whether it's a friend or foe, you can put it in here, right? It's inspired by a bunch of things. Honestly, I wrote info about it on the website about what it's inspired by, the actual drawings on it. The drawings reference some Hieronymus Boss, 15th century. Because of how big it is brass with white gold or gold, because we have gold version and a silver version. The silver version is white gold. Gold version is just gold. So it is coated in gold, but it does have brass underneath because otherwise it would have been so expensive that I don't think anyone wants to be paying upwards of like thousands of dollars for a piece of jewelry that is quite a bit of a statement piece. Some of my other pendants, the smaller pendant is made out of silver covered in gold, right? So it depends on like which design it is and what makes more sense in terms of like what kind of material I'm picking. If you're curious, read about what it's inspired by or get it for yourself, but I'm just wanted to share it. Mind you, at first it seemed okay. Awkward and like everyone is trying to avoid landmines around each other, like they're tiptoeing, they're walking on eggshells, as one might say, okay? But like that's understandably so. She did put them through like a few months of worrying about her, not really knowing what happened to her and if they'll even see her again, right? Also, them having to patrol the streets instead of her to get vampires that try to snack on people and whatever. After the first 10 minutes of the episode where we see Giles is happy to see her, he's the one who kind of had to deal with the most fallout from her disappearing, especially with her mother blaming him for it as well, which is absolutely fucking nuts, but whatever. He like has this like happy moment in the kitchen. It's really sweet. I think it's a really earnest moment that is really well written, even though it's not like a dialogue or something. You know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean.
What about you, Xander? What's up with you?
Oh, hardly. Oh, okay, I lied. A little old, lots of it.
Well, that's good.
Oh, absolutely. Except for the others. Not too much.
In combination with the gang trying to like crack jokes, even though everyone is uncomfortable about the whole situation and like there's an elephant in the room that needs addressing. So right after those awkward but okay 10 minutes, we start the fuck upness fucked upness with Willow, okay? Who agrees to see her at a cafe or something, not showing up. And mind you, for us people who have grown up with phones on them at all times, this is not 2025, okay? This is 1998 or 9. So people do have cell phones exist, but they're not as common. So if you can't make it, you always have to do the whole thing of like letting them know ahead of time. There are ways to do this, and people were very used to this type of thing. Like now we're not used to it. We don't have these lines of communication that people used to have, you know what I mean? Like we're kind of used to just shooting a text. Now she completely just doesn't show up. Then Buffy walks all the way home. She comes back to the house. This lady comes out of it. She doesn't know who that lady is. She's super passive aggressive.
Oh, you must be Buffy. I sort of took it upon myself to look after her while you were, off and away or what have you. And well, between your situation and reading Deep End of the Ocean, she was just a wreck, you can imagine. You two need to rebond.
She has this attitude as if she's talking to someone who is a mother of Buffy's mother, kind of blaming her in terms of not just running away. Obviously, she did run away and it was on her to run away, even though Joyce did tell her not to come back home, just if you guys have forgotten. In this particular moment, the way that she talks to her is basically as if Buffy abandoned someone she was responsible for, as if she's the adult, the mother who just like dipped. That's kind of like the attitude. She was kind of like, yeah, Joyce had such a hard time, like you do need to go and rebond or whatever the fuck. You just need to see that scene in full. I can't play it in full here, but you just need to see it to understand why I'm like talking with such a like disgusted face about that lady. Something about her is like so right away. Anyway, she comes in. Her mom says that Willow called and said that she was held up, but she tried calling. That's what Willow said. She said, I tried calling, but I got held up. Buffy asks if there was a message, right? Answering machine message, right? Which would be there if Willow actually called. But her mom said no. Yeah. If you want to avoid her or you're mad at her, you could have just said, well, no, let's not hang out. Let's actually have a conversation. Or just say you can't do it ahead of time. Like, why did you have to make her sit in the middle of the square or whatever the hell that is, a plaza, whatever the hell that is, I don't know. And just like sit there alone waiting for you. What's the point? Her mom decided to have everyone over for dinner to like celebrate and have a conversation, yada yada. I guess. I don't know why she wanted to do that so immediately, but maybe she was trying to kind of help Buffy mend some bridges. And also, just because it's going to be relevant later, Joyce put up a Nigerian mask in her bedroom. She's an art dealer, okay? Joyce, honey, why do you have it? Why do you have a Nigerian mask in your possession? What are you, the British Royal Museum? Like, what's going on? Genuinely. And the worst part about this, and this is just my, art major type shit coming out. She said that Buffy has no appreciation for primitive art. And in this particular case, because it's an actual mask made by Nigerian people, this is not primitive with a capital P. Primitive with a capital P is artists who got inspired, which is basically just stole the whole look, by a bunch of different cultures. It wasn't just specifically African countries, for example, or cultures. It was also like Polynesian, also a place that a lot of artists from France from 20th century and like late 19th century were getting their inspiration from. Basically, Gauguin and them, Gauguin and co. The problem is that she's calling it primitive, considering that this is not in the modernist sense, which is already problematic in my fucking opinion. That means that she's literally calling Nigerian art that has nothing to do with modernist primitivism, primitive, with a lowercase p. Like, all right, lady, I have so many bones to pick with Joyce. I don't even know where to start, but whatever. It's not great, to say the least, okay? Anyway, the way her friends talk about the party...
And what will we talk about at a gathering anyway? So, Buffy, did you meet any nice pimps on your travels? And
is really fun too. Xander literally says that Buffy ruined their lives for 3 months.
Oh, by the by, thanks for ruining our lives for the past 3 months.
Oh, Xander, you didn't like having no life and only slaying vampires? You didn't like that? Huh. That's so strange. I thought I thought Buffy was supposed to be super cool and chill about it. While he actually still had a sweeter deal than Buffy. Yes, he doesn't have her superpowers, in quotations. Because honestly, they are like, yeah, they are superpowers, but like, it's not like she's fucking Superman where she can just laser beam bitches or like without even having to sweat. Do you know what I mean? Like, he had a sweeter deal because he was hanging with his friends, okay? And making out with Cordy. If they had such a hard time killing vampires and whatever, wouldn't it make more sense that they would have more appreciation for what Buffy does, because she does it alone and she does it all the time and she doesn't have a choice? There's so many things that it should have kind of cleared up for them, made them more understanding of her situation, but no, it did the opposite. It did the absolute fucking opposite. And also, her friends, okay, decide to turn a dinner that Buffy's mom is throwing into a teen rager. Totally normal thing to do. Why would that be a problem? Why would that agitate her mom even more? Why would it throw a wrench into an already fucked up situation, right? That's totally normal to do. Honestly, if they wanted to not have to carry the, conversation, they should have just not done it. Let it be awkward. But turning it into a rager is just so not great towards Buffy's mom. Like, it's so inconsiderate. I cannot imagine just deciding when someone invited me for dinner to just bring a bunch of strangers into their house and trash it. Like, not as, come on, you guys, like, that's so fucking nuts. Anyway, they brought a fucking drum set in. Just that alone, I'm not gonna lie, just that alone would make me want to run away again or kill everyone in the room. One or the other. At first, I can at least understand Willow, okay? She is avoiding Buffy, sure. But like, yeah, it's awkward. And also, how do you address the fact that you are kind of pissed that she would just like dip and not give a fuck, right? But Xander making out with Cordy, all he ever wanted to do anyway, so why is he pissed? He stops Buffy when she passes by, when she clearly doesn't want to talk to him because someone is sucking on his goddamn earlobe. By the way,
Some kind of party, huh?
just so we're clear on the setup, on the situation that we're in. Yeah, okay. Like, what is this behavior? You want to avoid her? Fine. Keep making out. It's not like she told you to stop and made you talk to her. She didn't do that, so you can just continue on, go on your merry way, do whatever you want. The party is a mess, by the way. Yeah, I mean, everyone is trashing the house. Buffy passes by a group of people and she hears that they don't even know whose house they're at. They don't even know why they're there. They didn't bother, her friends didn't bother to invite, at least just invite. Fucking hell, dude, what is with this light today? Her friends didn't even bother, okay, to invite people that have at least met Buffy. Okay, I'm not even saying that they're friends or something like that. Considering that Buffy has been slaying the entire time since she came to Sunnydale, I know she probably doesn't have a lot of like friendly relations with a bunch of people, but you could have at least invited those that were like in the same class as her at some point. Is that difficult? They just did not give a flying fuck, to be honest. But like, okay, whatever. Like, this is not even that big of a deal. But then Buffy overhears Joyce, okay, talking to that passive-aggressive bitch I told you about, that literally, like, she just has something about her that makes you want to punch her immediately. Just one of those people, you know what I mean? She overhears them talking. And by the way, I know that Buffy missed the first half of that sentence.
While Buffy was gone, all I could think about was getting her home. I just knew that if I could put my arms around her and tell her how much I loved her, everything would be okay.
Sorry to say, I don't think it makes any of that second half of the statement, of the sentence, any better.
Having Buffy home, I thought it was going to make it all better, but in some ways, it's almost worse.
It just doesn't. Buffy goes upstairs and starts packing again. And yeah, is it a dramatic reaction? To some extent, but honestly, not really. You know what I mean? She got kicked out by her mom. It's not like she left and like her mom didn't contribute to this whole thing pretty directly.
You walk out of this house, don't even think about coming back.
Came back to take that burden on again after 2 to 3 months of intense depression over killing someone she loves, just to be talked to like she's a nuisance and hear her mom say she wishes she didn't come back. Right. Come on, people. Be real. And then Willow sees her packing and does something that I did not expect from her, to be honest, because she was always, like, since I started watching the show, I really enjoyed Willow. I really loved her. Yes, she can be a little bit, passive. She's shy, whatever the hell. Those things kind of get not fixed per se, but she kind of grows out of it as she goes along. This is something that is addressed in the series and whatever. I've always loved Willow, especially in the first 2 seasons, but this moment is very pivotal to me personally when it comes to her character. There's so many things afterwards that just keep nudging me further away from this character, to the point where I'm like, fuck, I don't even think I like her as a person anymore. So this was like a scene that really crushed my spirits when it comes to Willow, because I genuinely never thought of her as dumb or thoughtless or juvenile. Okay, so it was kind of a bit of a very, very unpleasant surprise, let's say it that way. They are acting like Buffy ran away because she was having some teen drama. And this is why metaphors don't hit in Buffy half of the time, okay? We're gonna talk about it more in depth in the deep dive, because it's just so weird. It's both genius half the time and then so dumb other half. If they were trying to explore teens running away and then trying to have Buffy take responsibility because it's her, it's her fault or whatever the hell, right? Maybe they shouldn't have put the weight of actual apocalypse, okay, that would kill other people on her shoulders in that instance. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe not have her mom directly telling her not to come back. Would I agree with Willow if Buffy's problem was a breakup, for example? Yeah, I would, actually, because Willow does have a point when she's saying that, well, I needed you too. You can't just think about yourself all the time, which, I mean, Buffy doesn't really, because unfortunately she doesn't get to have anything normal. I think they kind of went too far with it in the series, but we'll talk about it later. Or if Buffy was dealing with something that is similar in magnitude, or even if it would have been worse, but not as drastic, as killing your boyfriend to stop a literal apocalypse right after coming out to her parent who kicked her out of her house. Okay? There needs to be something taken out of this equation for me to actually take Willow seriously here. You know what Willow says when she's talking to Buffy about how she also needs her and she's also dealing with stuff?
I'm having all sorts of... I'm dating. I'm having serious dating.
She's having serious dating. That's what you're gonna open with? Really now?
With a werewolf. And I'm studying witchcraft and killing vampires. And I didn't have anyone to talk to about all this scary life stuff.
You didn't have anyone to talk to about it. What, not Xander or your werewolf boyfriend who you're having serious dating with? Like, how do you take that seriously in a conversation? Be for real. If you would have been in Buffy's shoes at this point, or anyone, like, even if it would have been not supernatural in any capacity, but for example, dealing with something that is a lot more important, or not important, but fucked than dating. Because by the way, why is she talking about dating as if it's like some kind of traumatic thing? It's not like it was traumatic for her in this instance. She actually likes, God, what's his name? Whatever. Like, hey, I clearly had to kill someone I loved for the greater good. And you know it. That's what actually pisses me off the most, is that, well, yeah, they didn't know that he got insulted when she had to kill him. Sure, she still had to kill him. They still have to be able to at least understand that that's a big deal. You know what I mean? And my mom kicked me out. And I'm a Slayer. Their life expectancy, by the way, is 22 years old, which means I got a maximum of 6 years left to live. Let's start there. I don't know. By the way, no one is talking about the fact that being a Slayer is low-key like having a terminal illness when you're young, but like a kind that sneaks up on you, like a heart condition or something that will take you out swiftly. You're not going to be suffering for a long time, but it will get you definitely before you're 25. That's a lot to live with. As someone who had cancer at the age of 24, yeah, it's a lot to live with. At least I wasn't terminal, but bitch, it's a lot. It is. So to talk to her like this. I don't know, I feel like no one is getting the magnitude of this issue because it's not about the fact that she's powerful. It's about the fact that it's a really shit deal. It's not a good deal. And she seriously came back with, I am also dealing with stuff. I'm having serious dating. I also kill vampires. I think she doesn't have to do, by the way, because she's human and no one will come to kill her to get another slayer, which is a thing that I am personally, knowing the council and what they do for the rest of the series, I personally think that's what they would do if Buffy actually refused to deal with the supernatural. Like if she would have been like, yeah, I'm not killing vampires, I'm not helping any of you, I'm 100% sure they would find a way to kill her, to get another slayer. Because there's no way in hell that this isn't their strategy to, with dealing with slayers. Because otherwise, slayers would maybe, I don't know, have accommodations or maybe a salary or something like that so they could have a longer lifespan. But no, that's another discussion for another day. We're not even going to start it today because I'm going to lose my mind, okay? How do you take this seriously? In a conversation with your friend, if you bring up something that is super serious, like, I don't know, you have to take care of like a sick relative and you have to take care of them every single day. Now you have to restructure your entire life around it, for example. So it's like a really big deal, a really big responsibility that you don't know how to deal with because of like your age and other things like that. And they come back to you with, I'm dating. Bitch, who isn't? And it's one thing to have this conversation with Will, like, sure, whatever, bitch, all issues are equal. In true American fashion, all issues are equal. You know, it's the heartwarming Christmas movie about the poor boy who has a loving family and a rich boy who has a family that doesn't care because they work and their issues are equal in measure. Yes, the poor boy's mom died because they couldn't afford her medical bills, and now they can barely afford food while, dodging debt collectors. But rich Timmy III had to hang with his servant who loves him like his own son instead of his rich dad on Christmas. All issues are equal. Like, what are you not getting? Her mom comes in and loses it too immediately.
Is this some sort of a joke?
Mom, please, could you
No, I
just...
can't just.
She was running away again.
Buffy, just tell her. Tell her you heard her say that she thinks it'd be better if you didn't come back. Why wouldn't you say that? This is what pisses me off about all shows and other things like that, like movies, whatever the fuck, where they don't say the thing that the other person has done just now that's really fucked. Why don't you say it? Just say it. Come on. They didn't write this in because obviously Joyce would have like no leg to stand on. Let's be real. They wouldn't be able to continue this fight. And if Buffy would have said that to her mom in front of Willow, Willow wouldn't have a leg to stand on either. Because it's not just that Joyce kicked her out before. She's literally just told some random woman that it would have been better if Buffy didn't come back. That would have been too much of a blow for the both of them, so the writers just kept it out. Are you hearing the rage bait I'm talking about yet? Are you seeing what I mean? Then her mom has a talk with Buffy. She has it out with Buffy in front of like 50 strangers, okay, who are all around her age. Honestly, most of them don't look like they are teenagers. But yeah, just why not humiliate her while you're at it? That seems great for your relationship, actually. Why not get all the dirt out of the hut, as one might say? Why not make sure, that your daughter has no one who's not privy to her personal life issues out of these freaks in this room, amongst whom Willow and Xander are apparently more mature and capable apples. That's the insane part. This is your capable, mature pool, whatever. that's bleak, but whatever. Buffy tells her, you said I shouldn't come back. And her mom goes,
Guess what? Mom's not perfect, okay? I handled it badly. It doesn't give you the right to punish me by running away.
You.
so mom's not perfect. Good Lord. Oh my God, a grown woman kicked her child out, being mad at her for actually following her request. And then her response, instead of saying sorry, or I shouldn't have said that, her response is, well, mom is not perfect, okay? Is there like a single adult in the room? A single one? I'm not even asking for that much, for that matter. I'm asking for one. While these two are just like, they just started to have it out. Xander? The little bitch jumps in.
I didn't do this to punish you.
Well, you did. You should have seen what you put her through. But taking off like you did was incredibly selfish and stupid.
Okay, I just had to deal with this on my own.
Yeah, and you see how well that one worked out. But most girls don't hop a Greyhound over boy troubles.
Don't even think about coming back.
Buffy, you know.
Willow, please. I can't take this from you two.
Let her finish. You at least owe her that.
That little petulant child that hasn't even had his mother's milk dry on his lips jumps into this conversation. It's like he wants me to smack him. Holy fuck. What is happening? It is low-key great that an episode where everyone is trying to just like, bury the past, not talk about their feelings, yada yada. It's the same episode where the monster of the week is a bunch of zombies. Like, yes, thank you. Perfect metaphor. Picked love, love, love. Absolutely fantastic. But back to those fucks that had a lot to say about Buffy. Anyone with an ounce, just an ounce, of empathy for someone they supposedly love, by the way, would say, okay, let's have it out, but let's do it one-on-one. You want Buffy to take responsibility. Well, bitch, okay, let's go ahead. But as per usual, that's not what these people want. They want to play victims and act like what Buffy asked of them is perfection. All of them are acting like they're operating on like two brain cells, that have little to no contact. And when they do have it, contact that is, they come up with something cruel or pathetic to say. Oh, mom's not perfect. A grown woman can't handle something Buffy was expected to handle. Not just the knowledge of, but the main player position in less time than Buffy gave her mom to digest it. Oh, Xander couldn't handle a fifth of Buffy's responsibility for a couple of months. Calling it ruining his life. So when Buffy does it, it's not ruining her life. But when you do it, when you have to take care of this responsibility, suddenly it's ruining your life, right? And he has a way out. He can always say, I'm not doing it anymore. Oh, poor little Willow is too overwhelmed by going on a few dates with a really chill guy who knows about vampires and can actually help with them. And by the way, Oz, that's his name. He's quite, like, she likes him. It's not like this is some kind of volatile relationship where she's being manipulated or abused or some kind of shit like that, where she would need her friend's support. What are you talking about? Then the zombies attack, okay? And they immediately, what? They need Buffy. Yeah. I mean, she defeats this zombie demon thing, whatever the hell, and they hug it out, okay? Right. This is how they solve it, the issue, right? So the metaphor here is to bury everything right back after an outburst by defeating the truth with a shovel to the eyes that can paralyze you when looking at you. Truth paralyzing you through eye contact, remove the essence of truth, the knowledge of its existence to bury it again. This is what I mean by, damn, Buffy metaphors are both great and kind of bad at the same fucking time, because yes, the metaphor of the zombies coming back up, kind of like the emotions coming back up and having to deal with them, is a great metaphor. But then why didn't you finish it? Why did you decide to suddenly at the end kind of resolve the issue in a way that would imply a really weird thing to the thing that's being metaphorized? Is that making sense to you guys right now? We're gonna talk more about it in deep dive, don't worry, but I'm just saying, like, here it's the same fucking issue. My little baby is drinking water and she's so loud. They wrecked the house. Joyce is not that rich, okay? And I doubt the council covers that shit. I have never heard of them doing anything like financially responsible ever. So this is another rage-inducing moment. Sorry to say, for some people, I guess it's like, oh, it's just TV, whatever. Yeah, I agree. But also in universe, they do talk about things like that later on. So it is pissing me off. here, okay? And at the end, when you think it's over, you know, when the episode is literally concluded with the whole tiff, you know, they hugged it out, whatever. Willow tells Buffy about magic, which honestly I can understand can be a lot, especially with the description that she gave. Like, it makes sense why she would need support and stuff like that. That's totally understandable. But then Buffy says Willow is in the right and Buffy's in the wrong, and that, oh, Willow is enjoying this whole moral superiority thing.
I am sorry. It's okay. I understand you having to bail. I can forgive that.
You're really enjoying this whole moral superiority thing, aren't you?
It's like a drug.
Moral. Moral superiority. Moral superiority, you guys. Moral superiority. Right after Buffy apologized again. And she is quite literally inflicting the witch shit on herself. She doesn't have to be doing all that. Moral superiority.
Okay, I'm the bad. I can take my lumps.
I'm the bad. I can take my lumps. She's the bad. She's the bad. She's the bad. She's the bad. Good lord, this episode. Rage bait episode through and through. Was there any financial incentive to produce something so blood boiling? I'm just wondering, because it is how our world functioning now. Like, literally people make a shit ton of content that outperforms everything else just to piss people off, to make money. So isn't it wonderful that we're on a platform like that? Isn't it wonderful that it's every single platform? Yeah. Anyway, an episode engineered in a lab for maximum triggering power. They start hurling insults as a joke at the end, and that's fine. It's like, whatever, I guess. But I'm just so exhausted by this point. It was dude, literally this video was supposed to be a part of a deep dive, but I can't do it in a deep dive. I think I don't want to get this angry while making a deep dive, but also, like, I guess I'm still gonna get pissed off about a bunch of other things. But I'm just saying, this episode is one of those that will throw you for a loop. If you don't know this show, maybe it's not gonna piss you off as much. Maybe watching this didn't give you like that zhuzh, you know, that you would expect from something that's actually like enraging. In my personal opinion, when you actually get to know these characters, this episode makes you want to jump off a cliff. It's that infuriating to watch. It's that difficult to watch after seeing Buffy in the previous episode, how difficult her like depression swing was. It's so fucked up to see that right after. And the thing is, I actually think that Buffy doesn't have the best attitude in that episode, that's for sure. She is way too avoidant in terms of like not letting people know what the fuck happened to her when she was, when she killed Angel. But I also think that, just logically speaking, from all the information that they had about that whole situation, they knew what she had to do. They knew what she did to save the world. And it's really fucked up for them to like pretend like they don't know it until she like lets them know. Dumb as shit. Oh my god. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this and raging with me. I'll see you next time. Bye.